Our business is run by myself and my brother. We're fifth generation Queensland farmers. Before us, our parents started setting up our company here, and it was a very different then to what it is now. Primarily we grow, our core crop is, or core business is onions, followed by garlic. We do some export of broccoli in the winter, and we also grow pumpkins. So between those four things, that keeps us pretty busy. We're also growing cover crops for soil health, trying to get our soil healthy, and we have a good motto that says, healthy soil, healthy food, healthy people. So our main business is all about we supply the main chains in Australia, chain stores, so we actually supply Coles every week of the year with something. And at this time of the year we supply Coles nationally with onions and garlic through the summer months. In the winter months we supply mainly Queensland, so it's so we go through a lot of tonnes of onions and a lot of garlic as well. Both actually, funnily enough, both negatively and positively. Positively in the sense that we've had a really busy year in supply. People, and when the hoarding the toilet paper thing was happening, people were actually hoarding onions and garlic. We ran out. We went through 3 months worth of garlic in 3 weeks at one stage. Sydney and Melbourne and those places were just buying like it was going out of fashion. So then that slowed down a bit, but overall it's been a busy year for supply. But on the other side of the coin, we've had a hell of a time finding workers. We've got we've sort of got a factory running here, but in there's we've got every position filled, but only just. We're having trouble getting people and keeping people because there's people, we normally have a workforce of Aussies, backpackers and Pacific Islanders. We haven't got Pacific Islanders, they're out. Backpackers, this time last year there were 200,000 backpackers in Australia, there's now 40,000 right now. And that number's dropping because they're not coming back. Things have changed a lot. For example, we don't have any local newspaper anymore in St George, or in fact the whole region basically. There's one or two small ones fighting for survival, and really I don't think that's anyone's fault. That isn't the fault of the big media corporations, they're often blamed. That's just the fact that we've moved on. Like we don't drive horse and carriage up to town anymore. We drive cars. So it's been a massive interruption, the social media thing, to the norm. We use social media in our business for advertising. Things like jobs, very important for us. And things like new products. We're launching an online garlic business called G'day Garlic, just for a plug. And that'll have all sorts of products, from whole fresh garlic to garlic powder, pickled garlic, and diced garlic, and all sorts of products when we get going. So social media is going to play a large part in that. Personally, I use social media really as a photo album because I don't trust myself to keep my photos, so it's a good way to, Instagram is good to store your photos on. You can go back through, and I also use it as a bit of a diary as well. You take a photo, put it on Instagram, and you can get reminded a year later, and you know what you're doing. We have a Moonrocks page on Facebook. We also have a page on Instagram, an Instagram account for Moonrocks. And basically, a few of us on the farm, or a couple of us, will take photos and we store them in Dropbox. And then Emily, my niece, my brother's daughter, she'll take photos out of that file, out of that folder, and use them for advertising or for news items on social media. So, yeah, that works pretty well. Big time. We rely on Telstra 4G, and I'm not going to bag Telstra because it's difficult out here, because there's not many people and large distances. But so if the system's playing up, our connectivity drops. We also have the NBN set up, which is horrible. I'm sure those satellite dishes would be better used as frisbees than satellite dishes. That the system doesn't work very well at all, but we keep it on because it's a backup. It's a very slow, glitchy, high latency, and so that is a barrier. The Blonshire Council are actually working on a new system which has some promise. Hopefully the price is right so that businesses and people adopt it. That'll be the big thing. But from what I'm hearing, it's going to be pretty high speed. That's what we need. Because as well as social media, and I don't know if this means anything to you guys, but we use a lot of cloud computing these days. Our whole business is stored, all of our files are stored in the cloud on different platforms. To run our farm, we use a program called AgWorld, which I have several people out on the farm, including people operating tractors, cultivators, spray rigs, harvest pickup, all that sort of stuff. And for scheduling and jobs coming up, we use AgWorld so that I can enter a job into my mobile phone on AgWorld, and it actually automatically emails that job to the people who need to have it. When the job is complete, they convert the job to an actual. That actual then becomes a record. So then I have a record, and we might have 150 jobs being completed in a week. So all of those jobs are put into the right place. I can go to each field, and there's a list of jobs in that field that have been done for the whole season. Gives me what it costs to grow the crop. It tells me exactly what fertiliser we put on the crop and what we spent on all of the operations, how many hours the tractors did and all that stuff. We have another program called FarmSoft which runs our inventory and pack house and all that sort of stuff. It's also cloud-based. So all of the operators, all the licensees can see exactly what's happening on there. And then in the administration side, we've got accountancy software, which is also in the cloud. So that sort of stuff. So that's why the internet is so crucial to us. It's no longer a novelty or a fun thing. It's actually a work tool now. And it is a critical part of our business. All of our orders come, say, from Coles or whoever we're dealing with. It might be HelloFresh, it might be Aldi. They all come via email, so we need the internet for that. And they're all updated. For example, an order from a chain store might be updated up to 20 times before we actually send it. So it changes depending on what customers are buying out of shops. So yeah, absolutely crucial.